everyone working from home and the need for myself to be able to create my videos, not just in my office and on the go, but also here at home, I felt the need to finally actually stop sitting on the floor, getting walked on, losing things, dropping hard drives, and just bad back issues as well. That just might be a tall person thing, but like I actually genuinely get back problems, like just a little bend and it's like, oh, there's my back, gone. So I really saw the need to have to make this office space. So I'm gonna show you in this video how I spent so little money. And actually on that note of spending so little money, I'll let you know that I actually didn't spend a single cent on this technically. Just one day I checked the mailbox, opened it up, and in there was a check for 400 Australian dollars saying that someone had overcharged me one day and I get a rebate of $400 when I bought my car 4 years ago.
Elise, do you know anything about a check in the mail?
I took that as a blessing, and you know how it is when you spend money, you don't really count it anymore. But anyway, this is the video that not one person asked for. No one's ever asked for it. No one's gone, Josh, show us your 6 setup. Josh, love your new setup. Not one person. But I'm not offended, and I'm gonna show you it anyway because you might find it useful, you might find it interesting. I hope this is a cool office setup. You can check this out. So I'll show you around, give you a little heads up, a little overview of what I did and how I kept it so cheap, and you can find out as well. So after talking to my wife, Elise, we always planned for this room to become like a little studio office setup, but I just never got around to it. And with this season, it finally forced me to get into gear. So one weekend, we're like, this is it, I'm gonna make it happen. So we cleaned everything out, we moved it all out, and then I was like, great, blank canvas, let's do this. So the first thing I decided to do was actually paint the wall. I just wanted one wall painted. 2 reasons. One, for a practical reason. It actually separates me from the background really well, which I had always planned to film videos like this from this position. And what's good about this color is because it's not like my skin complexion, it separates me from the background. So it's a pretty good decision. So if you're considering that as well, I don't recommend like the gross whatever color is on this wall. It's like a cream. You know how all houses have cream colored walls? Nobody wants that. A couple of years ago, I went on a trip to America and I really wanted to display some of my photos. So I just picked a couple of photos, got them printed off at a local office store, and the photo frames I just had lying around from years ago, so that didn't cost me anything. We come to my most favorite area in this whole build, which is the workbench zone. This is where I wanted to be able to keep my camera gears all kept away, so I just put my Pelican cases in there. I've also got a good workbench at a tall height so I can stand at it if I want, or sit, which is awesome, and I can just build cameras on it, do my camera builds, which it's something I've wanted for a long time because if you own camera gear, it just ends up everywhere. You're trying to build things on your kitchen table, and then your wife, like mine, goes, why is this here? This is where we eat, why is it here? And then it gets complicated, okay? So having this, it's awesome. Then got my pegboard above it, which is just an IKEA pegboard, which, look, this pegboard's not original at all. I saw some other guy do it, a couple of people, and I thought it was cool, and it was like 50 bucks. So I'm like, why not? And I basically just have a lot of tape, little tools on it, my phone gimbal, which is pretty fun. It's just things that I need when I'm building camera rigs or try to fix things or just work on things. It's like right there. Like if I'm doing stop motion, I need some blue tack to hold something. Is it, quick things for those extra little camera hack type things, things that aren't camera parts, but you do need them, like tape and that. It's useful. You should keep that stuff near you. I might do a video on like weird things you need. Let me know if you want to do that. Let me know if you want to know things that I think you need to make stuff. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean, maybe. Get yourself the biggest desk you can possibly fit in your car. And I'm talking so big that it comes right up into the driver's seat. So then we come over to my desk, which I have this awesome swinging lamp. It's really good late at night when I just want some warm lights, but not too in my face, so I can just have one lamp lit and it's a bit of an ambient vibe. Or if I'm working on my workbench next to it, it can just swing straight over, which is awesome. Then under my lamp, I've just got the peace sign, which is just cool. Look at it, it's right there, it's pretty cool. I also have my Empire State Building and then the dump and format, which is awesome. If you haven't seen that, check out the video right there. Dump format, media management. You gotta love it. Also have on my desk my edit drive and some other old hard drives, which I sometimes need. Old 1080p monitor, which I just use actually for more just browsing and if I'm typing these type of things and I just want dual screens or bigger screens. So I just thought, you know what, I've got this BenQ one that I've had for a couple of years and it's doing great. So I'll keep using it. I think the biggest takeaway from this office build is you don't need to buy everything new. Those frames, repurposed, already had them. My whole desk area is reused or repurposed. None of it is bought new. I had it, I needed it, it still works, it's great. So like, if it still works, keep using it. And then behind the camera is my little light, which lights this whole thing, and then which plugs into the wall, which is pretty interesting. I kind of want to get a cool little bracket on the wall. I'm thinking of like having the light extend and go away so I don't need to have the stand. And my favorite thing is the City of Logan, Queensland flag, which sits behind the camera every time I film, which is really cool. It's a really old flag from my city, you know, rep the pride of your city. So big takeaway, don't max out credit cards, don't do any of that thing. Don't go to these YouTube things and try and spec out and buy a whole new house just to make it perfect. This was an old spare room which had so much clutter in it. I just cleaned it out, repurposed a lot of stuff, and didn't have to spend a lot of money. And it has helped tremendously with my creativity, with creating these videos. In case you haven't noticed, like, these videos weekly have only started since this room started. And one, because I think having a dedicated space was super useful. And two, also because it just changed up my environment. I wasn't sitting on the floor or in the kitchen table anymore. It was like, it felt purposeful, like I'm in here, I need to do work. So, and it's also a pretty cool place to hang out sometimes. So yeah, so I encourage you, if you got a setup, any questions, ask away. Remember to subscribe and I'll see you next Tuesday. Peace.